Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be why you should never get attached to any one particular woman when you are practicing your dating and pickup skills, or you're still trying to master them. And I got an email here from a guy that I've coached a few times, and he's got his career going really great, and things are going well for him. He's an actor. And so I remember the last session I had with him a few weeks ago, this gal, just because he's busy and he's taking care of his life, she reached out to him and actually invited him to get together and to do something. And she revealed to him later that she had a crush on him. They made out and they fooled around. And so they had a good time together. And then like a week later, she reached, because she was texting him and reaching out to him. Then what I told him to do was to set a date with her and just invite her to come over and have dinner, and cook dinner, make dinner together, that kind of thing, and have a bottle of wine or whatever. And so when he went to set the date, he didn't set a definite date. And so what happened was the way he just kind of left it up in the air, and she's like, I'll get back to you. And so the day they were supposed to get together, he texts her and is basically, hey, are we on for tonight? And of course, she's got her response is kind of like, not really excited. She's like, oh, I'm busy, I can't, I got to do something with my family. I don't remember what the excuse was, but she was less than enthusiastic. Now keep in mind, this was a girl that initiated contact, tells him that she had a crush, had developed a crush on him, and she was doing all the reaching out, and then all of a sudden, she backed off. And so when those kinds of things happen, what you got to realize is more than likely, because this particular client, he's getting fixated on this one girl as opposed to just being focused on his purpose. And instead of just going about his life, now he's stopping and wondering and thinking about this girl all the time. And so obviously his last interaction with her, because he didn't set a definite date and he just left things up in the air. And so he's basically this really super busy guy. And he really is, because, I mean, sometimes he'll work for 2 weeks straight without a day off because he's learning new parts. He's going, he's acting, he's doing shooting, and then he's on to the next part that he's in. So he doesn't have a lot of time. And so she knows he's really busy. And then since his time is very valuable, and he's only got a few days off here and there, on his one evening that he's free that he can get together with her, he leaves it open for her and just kind of leaves it up in the air. And when you do things like that, women like guys that are direct and confident and strong and go for what they want. And depending on where her interest, there's probably other things that he did wrong that just turned her off, because what happened was he stopped focusing on being himself and going after his purpose, and then instead started focusing more on her and trying to make some kind of relationship happen. And so when a woman senses weakness, she's going to back away. And the important thing is, when you just start dating someone, I think he's only been out on 1 or maybe 2 dates with this particular girl. When you just start dating somebody and you screw up, I mean, you don't get a lot of chances. So you can see she went from chasing him and pursuing him, and then he just kind of leaves things up in the air and kind of vague, basically like a woman would. And then he got punished for it because he basically hasn't heard from her in the past 2 weeks, other than she clicked something on his Facebook. And we'll get into that in a second, because that's real important to look at too. He says, hey, Corey, I'm doing what you've been saying, not contacting the girl that I went out with a couple times. Now, I'm wondering if it's been like 2 weeks since we talked with each other. My graduation photos I put up on my Facebook page, and she liked one of the photos that I was in. And I would say, my experience in the past, because basically what happened was you acted weak, and you turned her off. And so instead of her chasing you and blowing up your phone and texting you all the time, telling you she's thinking about you and this and that, now she's all of a sudden seems totally cold and disinterested. And so it's obviously due to things that you did wrong that turned her off, because if you'd done everything right, she'd be chasing you even more. She would have canceled whatever plans or told whoever or what family member wanted her to do something that, hey, she was busy because she had something set up with you. And so when you mess up, you don't, especially in the beginning when you've only been out 1 or 2 times, you don't get a lot of chances. There's not a lot of things you can do wrong before she starts to think, oh, this guy's not what exactly I thought he was. He's not as confident. Just she feels kind of wishy-washy towards you inside. And I got another YouTube video that I'm going to be releasing today. It's going to be called Sex and Success, and it's another guy, in a similar situation who got the balance just right and he got laid. And so it's important to see the contrast, because every time you watch one of these videos and you learn from a guy, he's doing some things right, he's doing some things wrong, and therefore when you listen to these things, it's almost as if you live that experience yourself. And so when you get into a situation with a chick, and maybe you screwed up or not, but in the back of your mind, you're going to remember those like 10 different videos that I did on a similar subject, or guys who were in similar situations. And there's like 50 different ways it can turn out based upon what you say or what you fail to say. And so that stuff's rolling around in the back of your mind. So when a woman throws something at you, you remember, oh yeah, I remember there's that one video that Corey was saying, oh yeah. And then you know what to do. And it's like, that's what's so great about this stuff, is that you can learn from other guys. You learn from their mistakes, and you learn from the things that they're doing right. And so he says, let's see. And so here's the thing that's interesting. When in the past, like when you screw up and the girl's kind of lukewarm, the other thing you got to keep in mind is maybe there's another dude in the picture. And that's why it's so important when you're learning this stuff not to get hung up on one woman, but to be focused on your career and meeting women wherever you go. And since you're always interacting with these beautiful women because you're an actor, take pictures with you and these hot girls, even if you're not dating them or anything. Just, you're having a good time together, put your arm around each other, snap a picture, put that shit on your Facebook. Because when, not only when she sees, but when other women see it, they're just going to assume that, oh, you're probably sleeping with all of these girls, and you're probably very popular with women. And that's a good thing, because if women think you're popular with other women, then to them they think, oh, there must be a lot of competition to win you, and therefore you're very valuable as a catch, and so they're going to work harder. But when a woman doesn't perceive you as a catch and her interest is low, and when she was reaching out to you and then all of a sudden she stops, it's dropped. But when she starts to come back, sometimes she won't write on your Facebook right away. What will happen is she'll start liking your posts, and she'll start liking things. And then you don't do anything, you don't respond to that, because it's really nothing. You want to see, it's like a game of poker, remember? And so what will happen is usually a few days or a week or two later, then she'll comment on, and so she'll go a little bit further. And so when she comments next time, then shoot her a message and invite her, give her the same thing, invite her to come over for dinner. But the thing you got to keep in mind is when you asked this girl to get together, she was She didn't even offer an additional date. She didn't say, hey, I'm busy tomorrow, or she's busy. She didn't say, I'm busy tonight. I mean, she didn't even give you the courtesy of calling you to let you know she was unavailable. And more than likely, if you hadn't reached out to her to say, hey, are we on for tonight, you would have never heard from her, and she would have just completely blown you off. And that's telling of her level of interest. So something you did or something you said, or maybe a combination of things, you can recognize that just from her behavior that you did something that turned her off. And so you just look at it as a learning experience and move on to the next girl. And if she does write to you and she takes it a little bit further, then invite her to come over for dinner, bottle of wine, the whole 9 yards, and she'll either say yes or no. And if she turns you down for the second time, then don't ever bring up getting together again. If she writes on your Facebook, or she sends you a message, or she texts you, write back, interact with her, but never bring up getting together. And after 2 or 3 texts back and forth, say, hey, it's nice chatting with you, I got to run, keep in touch. And then just move on with your life, because you're a mover and shaker. You ain't fucking waiting for this girl. She was all enthusiastic about you, and you got to remember, this is going to happen constantly as you meet new women, and as you do things right. When they start chasing you from the get-go like this girl did, they'll continue to do it more and more as time goes by. But when a woman starts out chasing you, then all of a sudden she goes cold on you, it's either A, because you screwed up, or B, because there's probably some other guy in the background that she likes, that she's more emotionally invested in, or who maybe previously with that particular guy he wasn't available, and now he is. So if you got a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max detailing your situation, your questions, or your challenges. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet, and I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers. But be patient, and I will get back to you. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session, and you can do that by going to my website, and on any page of the website, click the Products tab, and just follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session. And if you don't have my ebook, on the right-hand side of my website, right underneath the email sign-up box for the newsletter, there's a link there for the Amazon Kindle version of my book. You just click that, go to Amazon, and you can have it on any electronic device Make sure you download the free Kindle e-reader app, and then you can read on any electronic device, smartphone, Android, iPhone, iPad, Mac, PC, in under 60 seconds. And I will talk to you soon.